Welcome to the All Neelix All the Time Power Hour. Joining me today is Caitlin and the number one Neelix fan, Charles.
Okay.
How's it going? How's your search for Neelix?
My love for Neelix will always be the hatred of how much the sun is. The sun is burning bright. It is full of hatred for Neelix, who leaves the series near the end. Oh, what a waste of a character.
I mean, could be worse. Caitlin, have you ever seen Voyager?
Nope.
So this is super beyond you. Heirloom or Charles, whatever he wants to call himself today, Mainstream Live, I guess. Him and I have had this thing for probably a good 6 or 7 months now, where we just have been sending each other Neelix, just gifts of whatever. For a while, we were doing a Photoshop thing, just because he hates the character. We were just photoshopping him into whatever.
So, your hatred is based on the fact that he left before the end of the show?
No. It stems from season 1, episode 1, where they meet him.
Oh, God.
and it's like, you meet him, you think, okay, maybe this character's good. Maybe he's interesting. Maybe, he can be some help. No. All he is just Google Maps. That's all he is. He gets jealous constantly. And it's more like, I don't like Tom Paris because he looked at Kez and so did everyone on the ship. And he's like, I don't like him. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he gets jealous and then he doesn't listen to anyone and then just literally look of the ship. You have replicators that can do the same thing. So he's pretty much useless and he just stays in the kitchen and you're like, Neelix, what are you doing? And he's just like, he's a goblin. He is a space goblin.
Wait, two things. To be fair, the reason that he was a cook was because they were limiting their energy rations or energy, so they were not using the replicators to make food as often as they could have been. So he was good for that. However, that said, Google Maps I think was a good analogy because when you're using Google Maps to try and find some place and it has absolutely no idea where you are, as turn left, turn right, turn right, turn left, turn left, boop, 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 and it's just turning you around in a circle, and you get really annoyed with it and you're like, which way do I fucking go? That's that's generally how people feel about Netflix.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect analogy.
Yep.
But moving past and on to some more current topics. Before we get into the episode, which has already dropped on Paramount Plus, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things that have popped up in my perception, my peripheral, I guess. Exo6 is a fairly new company that is doing collectible figurines. They're calling them museum quality, and they do look really good. They're at exo6.com. I posted the link in the chat here for you guys so you can pull them up. I will post it in the YouTube chat here too, so that when people are watching, they can see exactly what we're talking about. On Friday, they have the Star Trek Voyager Captain Janeway figure that is going on pre-order. They run it's just under $200. I want to say it's $180 a piece. So these are really pricey, but they look super realistic, and I want that Picard. So bad, I want that Picard.
He does look sexy.
Shay, who's running the show from behind the scenes here, he was saying that they look kind of creepy, and I think it's because it's that uncanny valley look where they look real, but you can tell that they're fake. So it's just that really weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think my favorite picture of the Picard is if you took his phaser away in his hand, he looks like he's doing jazz hands. I just love it. I love it.
So you do that. You take the phaser away, so he's doing the jazz hands. But then you also use the no jacket look, so he's just wearing the vest.
Oh, it would look great.
Great. I recently got back into getting collectibles. Charles, do you collect stuff? I can't, like, there's nothing behind you. So, I mean, there's nothing behind me right now either, but I don't think I've ever actually seen any of your stuff.
It's all on the interesting where it says Charles. Because it's Mark.
Mark. Why did I think it was Charles?
I have no idea, but
such a long day. Like, I knew it was Mark because I just emailed you like yesterday too, and the email that I got back said Mark.
I love that Josh has said Charles like 4 times before you corrected him.
Oh, don't worry. One of my better. If you think that's great, one of my best friends, he called me Marcus for at least 10 years. And then when we were all sitting down, he went, "So Marcus," and his wife went, "Why do you call him Marcus? His name's Mark." He went, "What? I didn't know." And I was like, "Yeah, I just found it really funny."
Oh my god.
So
we've got off the rails so quickly. Well done. Good job, Josh.
It tends to happen. You know.
It's fine, Josh.
You do what I can. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna go back to calling you Heirloom.
Just call me Charles. I don't mind it.
Yep.
Let's keep
you're Charles now. That's just who you are.
Or Chuck. What about Chuck?
Charles. It sounds more British.
Charles.
True.
Yeah, that does. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about for really quick was just some of the Easter eggs from last week's episode. So Caitlin, I know you are not like super big into Star Trek. We kind of talked about that last week. But after having watched it last week, was there anything that not necessarily stuck out to you that you came back to, but anything that you were thinking about that just kind of sat with you over the past week?
I still really enjoyed the mother-daughter relationship and that weird, like, lying about enjoying working together dynamic that they had. I thought it was very funny. And then just the ridiculousness of the captain's kind of number 2 or number 1, just losing his shit and getting so jealous that when he becomes a god, his response is to become a giant head and try and eat the ship. Like, y'all don't work very well with resentment. You guys need to, like, actually try and figure that stuff out because it devolves so quickly, but in the best, like, most hilarious way.
That's the kind of thing too where in like a drama, I'd be like, okay, this is getting really old. Just fucking figure this shit out and move on. I'm done with this. But in a comedy, like, they can just keep mining it forever, and it will get funnier and funnier every time.
Oh, and of course the fact that while he's trying to eat the ship in the background, the two who are dealing with, like, I don't know if we're gonna be friends anymore because you don't remember me. They're dealing with that while you can see in the background behind their scenes the dude trying to eat the ship, and they're not reacting to that in any capacity. Like, it hasn't fazed them that a giant of one of their crewmates is trying to eat the ship. I feel like that should be on your radar.
Yeah, but you know, people get so wrapped up in their own stuff that you just kind of like block everything else out. This happens. Mark,
I love that running
Mark.
joke.
Mark, you weren't with us last week, so I just wanted to ask you as well. First, I'm going to assume, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did you watch last week's episode?
I did, Jake. I did.
I am not from State Farm, but I could be.
Really?
So what did you think of last week's episode? Did anything like stand out to you? Did you notice any Easter eggs that you thought were fun?
I saw the ships, but I didn't kind of really look into it. My idea was I'll go back and watch that, and I never did. But
the ones at the beginning when she's escaping in the holodeck.
yeah, I think I saw a runabout.
Or when yeah, there's a runabout. There were a ton of ships in there. That was when Jennifer came out.
Yeah. I was
the Andorian named Jennifer.
I love that so much.
I saw a Jem'Hadar fighter. That was quite nice. I thought I saw a Ferengi ship. Like I generally thought it was Quark's little runabout type thing, but no.
It might have been. I don't know. I know I saw that there was like a Romulan ship. I don't remember which one, but I remember seeing something that looked like a bird of prey. There was one like just going through looking for some of the Easter eggs on my like outside. I found some on one of the sites. They seen the Miranda class USS Macduff, which was based off of the Reliant from
yes.
Wrath of Khan. But this random coincidence, the name Macduff could come from the episode of TNG called Conundrum, which was where they all got amnesia because that one dude from the less technologically advanced species tried to convince them all that they were at war with their enemy. And so everyone had amnesia, didn't know what was happening, but he was like, we have to go and kill these guys. And then they get there and they're like, these guys are using lasers. Like this technology is so old, we'll blow them up with like one shot.
Worf's like, yes,
and,
photon torpedoes.
Right? Well, Worf, like he took over the ship. Like he was acting like he was captain throughout the entire until they were able to access the ship's manifest and find out that Picard was actually captain. Like the episode is really funny. But one of the guest stars in that episode was Liz Vassy, who she's been in a bunch of stuff. But like recently I just like was scrolling through Twitter and she was like, I've got 10 minutes before I get on this flight, AMA. So I was like, hey, you were in an episode of Star Trek like 30 years ago. What do you remember about it? And she's like, well, I remember that I had to do a costume fitting for that bathing suit like 3 times, and everyone was really nice. And it was this episode. She was in sick bay with Crusher. It was like on a holodeck, and she was diving some like cliffs or something and hurt herself. So she had to go to sick bay and forgot who she was. So she was sitting there throughout the entire episode in her bathing suit. So I thought that was a really fun.
No one brought her a towel. Because it must be colder on the Enterprise at times.
So, like, all that like computer hardware, they have to probably keep it pretty chilly, and the uniforms too. But yeah, so I mean, there's a ton of other Easter eggs. A lot of them are fun. We spoke last week a little bit about the whole thing with strange energies is from the actual first aired pilot for the original series. Which was the second pilot for the show. The first one was The Cage, which turned into the Menagerie later on in the first season. But this episode that's coming up is going to have a ton of Easter eggs too. I don't want to spoil anything, but you'll know based off of what you're seeing when to keep your eye out. For like random shit that's just gonna kind of like pop up all over the place. So if you guys want to go ahead and get the episode queued up, it actually dropped early. It was live at like 11:30, and it's loading on my end, which is probably gonna take a second because my internet here in the hotel sucks. But first, I gotta watch this behind the music trailer.
I would just like to say I forgot that last week's episode opened with that simulation as her workout. That was ridiculous.
Right?
It was so good. Why are you squatting? Because
think
it's leg day.
I think what I liked about that though was that the whole exercise thing later with Ransom.
Yep. Like I completely forgot from the cold open to the actual episode was working out. when you said the bit about Jennifer, which absolutely killed me, just that's one of my favorite aspects of this kind of comedy, where it's like you combine something that's so like average to the real world with something so like fully sci-fi or fantasy. It just having someone that completely looks like an alien named Jennifer, amazing. So simple, so perfect.
I think what really did it for me with that specific thing though is that happens at home. Like I'm sure I do this to Shay every once in a while, but he does it to me too. Like I'll be watching like Power Rangers or something for the live stream on Saturday, or I'll be watching something either just because like I missed the episode and I want to watch it, or for actual like work type stuff. And he'll just come like wandering into my room and like stand in my doorway. It's like, hey, so let me tell you about this thing. I just get like, all right, I'm trying to watch this show. But
that
then I do it to him
like
too.
Shay.
But I do it to him all the time too. Like I'll walk into his doorway because I'm like, hey, I want to talk to you about this thing, and he's like, what? Like he's working on something in his computer. That's having roommates. It's the kind of stuff that you deal with. But it's okay because we do it to each other. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't know that I was just talking about him because he didn't have his headphones on. But it's okay. So I've got it queued up on my end. Are you guys good to go on yours?
I'm ready.
Ready to go.
All right. So let's go ahead and hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Should have said make it so or engage.
What's the new one from Discovery? Let's fly.
No, you'd be like, let's punch it, Chewie.
No.
Different franchise.
I like that they're literally just walking around the hallways in towels.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what a sonic shower feels like.
Oh gosh.
So are sonic showers sonic, or are they just gravity? Sound or gravity?
I think they're sonic. I mean, they're called sonic showers, so that
I can imagine that's going to be the entire thing for this match.
They were like melting their brains.
It's fine. I'm sure they can regenerate them now. Or they'll just get put into one of those machines where they just beep, 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 beep.
Did they change
What's
the intro?
What's the jet like on one of the better ships last year? Did he like move to our ship? Because last year when we met him, he was hanging out with Boimler's like girlfriend, where they were only dating because of the parasite.
Yeah. I think he transferred.
Yeah, he transferred to the Titan, didn't he? Because he saw a chance and then took it. And
Boimler did, yeah, but
yeah. Where do I recognize his species from?
Darmok and Blood at Tanagra. Temba, his arms wide. Shaka, when the walls fell. The TNG.
Okay. Yeah, say
I was
cue the
thinking, is he gonna be
screaming.
crying when we see him? He's not cut out for this. He's crying while they celebrate.
So much stuff in here.
Yeah, I'm picking up tons of stuff. Love his accent.
Why does he have 4 tablets?
It's hard to hold more than that.
Like, they're tablets. You can just scroll between screens.
I like how on the monitor on the screen where you see like Boimler's picture, he's just like just completely spaced.
Uh-oh.
Trombone. I think that statue is a TOS.
Guess I got a
Wow.
new security
First day on the
officer.
job went wrong so quickly.
Oops.
It'll be worth a fortune.
Uniforms. I don't know what the unicorn is.
They're gonna rip him in half.
I like how he's just holding the puppet.
How long do you think it will be
Yeah,
until
it's
someone
like
puts it on and be like, I know.
The puppet, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Their undercover is they smudge dirt on their face.
It's yeah, no, it's horrible.
Why?
No, it's exactly
Even
what
when she micromanages, they do bad. Yeah, this plan's great. Oh no, it's I again. So do you know who the giant Starfleet guy is?
I don't.
I guess that's a
At least
TOS Easter egg. I don't recognize that one.
yeah, I'm guessing at least one skeleton things have to be something. They look like flying. That would explain it. That like skeleton of Abraham Lincoln.
Evil Roombas.
Oh, I hate these. I hate these guys so much.
You're clearly Starfleet.
Use puffs. I actually think Stevens might be one of my favorite characters.
God, I hate them so much.
I love him.
I really hope Riker becomes a regular part of the show.
I joined Starfleet to study moss. What?
Ironclads.
Are they just abandoning the miners?
You know. We'll be fine.
Mr. Captain.
Which one's going to become evil?
So is one gonna murder the other?
That'd be great.
Nightbird. Love it.
Oh my gosh, this is the weirdest way to have him go back to the Cerritos. Do you think we're gonna check back in on William Boimler?
I hope so.
Doll, please don't play with me. I love that cat.
Do you reckon Boylan's going to turn around and tell him that there's a transporter clone of himself? Or he'll keep it on the down low? Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
It's Boimler, it's my friend.
is there a trailer to next week's episode? No, Paramount Plus.
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
There
Yeah, I don't
wasn't.
think so. I love that Rutherford guessed that Boimler would be transporter cloned.
I mean, that does seem like a very Boimler thing to do.
Or Jet finally bonds with them, and Mariner's having a sweet, heartfelt moment, and then smashes him in the face. It's Boimler! It's my friend! So good.
So this episode was fun. Second time I watched it, 'cause I saw it at the premiere thing that they did a couple of weeks back. I didn't really catch anything new that I didn't see the first time around. What about you guys? Like, I know obviously, Caitlin, you don't have the back knowledge that Charles has.
Well, yes, sir.
There was a sex helmet that somehow caused all of the problems. That was amazing.
I mean, if something's gonna cause problems, it might as well be a sex helmet.
I also love out of everything that guy could steal, he's like, I want that. I want the helmet.
Well, I loved how, like, in response to that, though, Tendy was like, you took that thing, you perv. No judgment.
You're right. It's your fault. You took the sex helmet, you pervert. And then, has that whole turning into a puppet thing ever happened before? Because that was nuts.
I don't remember that ever happening before.
That was insane.
It's not.
But the way the doctor said that it's not her first time.
Yeah.
I don't. The Enterprise crew turned into puppets. So I know it's never happened on TNG, DS9, or Voyager. Apparently, maybe there wasn't one episode.
The only thing that I'm seeing is a puppet. Let's say puppet manager. Let's see. Jonathan, someone called Captain Archer a puppet of the Vulcans. Puppet was used by the commanding officer of the first Federation starship for Sarius Baylock into fooling the crew of the USS Enterprise. And the puppet was of Baylock. The puppet was a cat-eyed alien in an eerily lit control center that wavered and rippled in the Enterprise's view screen.
I just love that there's apparently a defense ray that turns people into a puppet.
Puppet
out of
made its
every
first.
option.
Yeah. Let's see, Kirk. Yeah, look, from what I can tell, there's no one that's actually been turned into a puppet. But there was a use of a puppet in the episode of TOS with Baylock, which is that weird green-looking alien thing. The other thing that I looked up was in the very beginning of the episode, they mentioned Starbase 58, and the only reference to that was in a DS9 episode called Whispers, and it was just the point of departure for the ship, the USS Gallico. So that wasn't really anything. But I'm definitely gonna have to go through and pull stills from the collector's room so I can find what those were, because there was a lot of stuff in there that looked.
Oh yeah. The thing that takes over the entire Enterprise, game thing I saw, where it's just you put the visor thing that shoots stuff into the eyes, and it's just discs, and that's the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the episode with Ashley Judd, right?
Yeah, where it's Wesley Crusher's first time he meets someone, And then you never see her ever again.
Never again. She was. I can't remember her name, but she was the one that had like all those rules, right? Kind of like Boimler has all those rules. Like she had like it was like Murphy's Law number 75 or whatever.
Mm.
I wonder what happened to them. Do you reckon saying, "Oh, Wesley Crusher, he's got a girlfriend. Yeah, transfer her to another ship, and we'll never see her ever again." Oh, sorry, Wesley, she left.
How accurate this is. But there's a was it Nemesis? Where where Wesley had like a 5-second cameo at the very beginning, or it might have been. I don't remember which episode it was. Well, or which one of the movies. Will Wheaton cameoed as Wesley Crusher again, and supposedly Ashley Judd was supposed to cameo there as well. To like basically saying that the two of them went off and had gotten married at some point, but I don't know if that's actually real or not.
I would just like to say I love Shay's Galaxy Quest joke in the chat. I said minors, not minors. Well done.
I forgot the Galaxy Quest was a Paramount thing because that is also now up on Paramount Plus. And I saw it when I was looking for the Lower Decks page. I was like, oh, I need to watch Galaxy Quest again.
Love Galaxy Quest.
Love that movie. Such a good movie.
I loved.
So,
I loved the
what else
Boimlers.
stuck out to you guys in this episode? Like
Boimler being on a mission and not dying or being nearly as bad as I expected, but also his hilarious, like, I guess, backstory as a miner of, no, I'm totally a miner with a heart of gold, and I have dad issues.
it kind of reminded me a little bit of the episode from season 1 where Tendi accidentally got sent on that one mission. Because she was like cleaning the chairs in the ready room or something, and they were like, "Oh, you're supposed to be here." And they just kind of like dragged her along, but she was really, really good.
Yeah, she was like assassin level crazy good.
Right? But he's just like the complete opposite.
Yeah, because she had said she was the cleaner because she was there to clean the conference room. I also just love that their disguise as miners was like coveralls and dirt smudged on their face.
They had hats. They had they had hard hats.
And the miners are like, "You're clearly Starfleet. Like, you're not good at this."
That actually kind of reminded me of I think it was Titan AE, the weird Don Bluth animated movie from like.
I have not seen that film.
As something, and it's fun. It's not great, but it's fun. But they were trying to break out one of the characters from trade thing or something, and the guard that was there was like, "You're not a traitor. This guy's clearly military. He like look at him. He walks like a military. He's big. He's like I don't buy this at all." They're like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah. No, I also enjoyed the fact that Boimler kind of reminded them why they had joined Starfleet, that it wasn't to fight bad guys. It was weird things like moss, I guess. But
that's one of the things I think I enjoyed about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it harkens back a little bit to what we talked about last week with where like Star Wars is very much like fighting a war and battles, and Star Trek has more of that explorer feel to it. So I thought it was kind of clever the way that they put that out there and kind of had it where it's like, okay, even though these guys are stuck in this like fighting like cycle at the moment, that's not why any of them chose to join. So I thought that was a really cool touch that I wasn't expecting.
Well, I think what's funny about that too is like the Star Trek movies outside of like the original cast movies, the next gen movies were all mostly action based. Generations was not necessarily super action based, but First Contact, obviously that was all about the Borg, so there was tons of action in that movie. Insurrection was about people being forcibly resettled from the planet that they were on, so there was a lot of action in that one. Nemesis was about the like it was a bad movie. I don't remember exactly what the plot was, but it was something about like the Romulans and the Remans trying to do something like destroy a planet, I think. So there was a bunch of action in that, and like Data dies in it. So like there's it's the movie, the TV series have often been more about exploration and science type stuff, whereas the movies have generally been a little bit more action heavy. Like even the new series, like Discovery, is a lot more action heavy than it is like exploration.
Yeah.
Because we want to see stuff being blown up in space. Not talking about Neelix's plan.
Blown up in space. I mean, would you, if like he talked about the science behind cooking?
If literally about that's really interesting, Neelix. That's really fascinating. Wait, hang on a minute. Oh no, alien things taking over my hand. Phaser set to kill. Oh, you fired, Captain. Neelix is dead. Alien technology took over my hand, and I'll be it. And
you know, I'm if that Exo-6 company, if they release a Neelix figurine, I will buy.
No, if you look at it, I reckon. Oh no.
Because if I buy it for you, then you're gonna know how much it costs, and you're gonna be like, I can't destroy this because it was actually kind of expensive.
I might email them and say, hi. I might make a fake email and be like, I'm from Paramount. You can have any character you want from the show, but due to technical rights with Ethan Phillips, we're not allowed to use his likeness, even though it is in the. Yeah, please use anything you want, but Neelix is off the table because he's a beloved character by all, so we can't do it. Sorry. And then what I'll do is before I send it, I'll go over to a convention. I'll get him to sign it for sign piece of paper, and then I will literally put at the top. Ethan Phillips says, "Do not use my thing," and then email it to them. And then Neelix will never be made.
You've thought that out way too thoroughly.
See if he has a. You should see if he has if he's on Cameo.
Oh,
and just ask him to do that as a cameo.
Oh no, he probably is. And I actually just thought of it all off the top of my head. Cameo? Oh, he better not be on Cameo.
I'm frozen. Maybe I'm
He'll
not.
be on something, won't he?
My internet is so bad.
On Cameo. They all are
so
now.
Do you think Jet is going to get his revenge for Boimler taking his new friends?
No, I
it
think
seems like it might go that way.
I reckon it will fall. It will fall down to the thing of we will never see him ever again.
Yeah, I could see that. I just thought it was very funny that we focused on him after they basically kicked him out. Because here's the other thing: Boimler's very small. He could have squeezed in there if people had moved over. So the fact that instead he forced him to leave the table is kind of like a dick move on Boimler's part.
But it's also, like Mark his territory. He's like, these are my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked over. He's like, "Oh, there's no space for me."
And how long do you think Mariner is going to hold it over Boimler's head that he abandoned her?
Season.
Yeah, I can see it maybe not popping up in every episode, but at least every couple of episodes, she's going to be like, "You remember when you abandoned me? You owe me." Whenever she needs for her, it's gonna come up.
Or they're in some kind of argument.
What do you think the captain's gonna do now that she's got the thing from Starfleet saying, okay, well, you micromanage too much, but now he's found out that she pulled back way too far. Do you think she's going to try and find a middle ground, or do you think she's going to go back to micromanaging everything?
I love that the second she takes her hand off the wheel, the new employee turns into a puppet. Like, can you imagine that day? You're like, fine, I won't micromanage. Okay, clearly that was wrong. I knew I was right. Like, I don't see her ever allowing them to have any sort of freedom, because the 2 times she's given Mariner any sort of like freedom in her actions, it's gone really badly. Like, the last 2 episodes is Mariner can hit. Oh, nope, never mind.
Maybe not.
See, I want to know if it's going to go back to. Do you remember the episode where you had? Was it? Is it boiler time? Something like that. Well, buffer time. That was it. And
buffer time. Yeah.
Buffer time.
So I reckon, like, if she goes back to micromanaging, it might go down the road of something like that. So where she's like, "Oh, I'm going to micromanage everything," and it'd be like, "I need status reports every 3 seconds."
I don't know if we'll ever go back to the insanity of buffer time, because at the end we did find out that rule that they made, the Boimler whatever, has lasted throughout history. Like, that's his legacy, which is amazing. So I think she learned a lesson on that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, during the season we maybe saw her actually go out on a mission, because we haven't fully seen that. So that would be a very, I think, interesting dynamic if we saw her on a mission with Mariner and some of the other lower decks to see what keeps going wrong every time they send them on something that, let's be honest, is pretty low tier.
I could see that being really fun too. Like her being like, okay, I'm gonna come down just to make sure nothing goes wrong, and then absolutely everything goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or everything goes absolutely perfectly. Like it'll be like one of those like dual episodes where you see her and her away team, and then Mariner and her away team, and everything with the captain's away team just it's got to be one or the other. It's going to be either everything with the captain goes absolutely batshit wrong, and Mariner stuff goes perfectly, or the other way around. And she's gonna be like, I don't know why you guys can't do anything right. Like my shit was fine.
Do you think this is the last we'll see of Riker?
No, I reckon it'll be end of the season again.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he comes back more than that, but yeah, at least once before the end of the season, I think he'll show back up again. I love this version of him. He left acting for a while to just direct, but he made an appearance in Picard season 2. And now I want more. He's Riker is just like such a fun character. He's almost like if Kirk had character development. That's kind of who Riker is.
And a beard, a big bushy beard,
and a beard. It's a nice beard.
And what do you think will happen with the other Boimler the next time we see him? Do you think he'll be like a badass?
I don't know. So the Riker's twin ended up joining a terrorist organization.
Oh my god.
So I could only imagine that they're going to do something similar to that with Boimler. I don't know if he'll.
2.0 is the big bad.
I don't know if he'll show back up this season, but I could see him showing up maybe in somewhere in season 3, and fooling them somehow. Just being like, "Hey, I'm here to help." Just kidding.
I would love other Boimler to be the big bad. That would be hilarious, especially if he was pulling a thing where he's trying to trick them, and you have Mariner essentially shoot him, and Boimler's how'd you know which one it was? And Mariner's just yeah, I did know. I knew. It's fine. So glad I did the right one there.
Yeah, that definitely could be a thing too. Shay found on eBay a Neelix figure. This thing is amazing. It's him standing behind the counter cooking.
I think they even got at least they got his food right. It's bland.
It's just red. This
Exactly.
figure looks so bad. I mean, the head sculpt does look like him, but like this thing looks like it's been like partially melted or something.
It's something that you when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh God, Neelix, you scared me, like you always do.
Gotta get that adrenaline flowing in the morning.
There's a wharf that it was linked to at the bottom, and that looks kind of the same.
That looks horrifying.
Right? There's a QMX. Is another company has a war figurine that's coming out. I think in a couple of weeks. I actually think I might get it. It's only like this one's only like $30. So I'm like, okay, I can spend that. So I might pick that up. But let me see if I can find the.
I mean, look at the picture of Neelix. Like, are they that way where they've got the spoon? He's tapped it on the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because there's nothing in the bowl. We know this. Oh, toy developer.
There's stuff in the bowl. You just don't want any of it.
Yeah, all his cooking. God damn, I hate him so much. He's only one of the fictional characters that I hate the most in this entire world.
This war figure actually looks really good.
So what did you guys think of the episode overall?
Comes back in. I think I might buy it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It hit like all of the right notes. I don't know. Like for me, it's kind of hard to rate comedies because if they're funny, they're funny. And if they're not funny, they're not funny. This one, like, it didn't do anything bad. It was a really, really solid episode, and I look forward to going back through it, and looking up all the Easter eggs that I missed in that collector's room, because that there's like tons of stuff that was there that just kind of like went by in a split second, or like, why is there a unicorn here? Is this actually from something? Nope, that's just a weird thing that was there. What about this thing? I think that's one of the things I really like about the show is that there's that, like with the Bad Batch, it was I still need to watch the finale. I haven't watched it yet. The second to the last episode was really good. I need to watch the finale. But with that, like, there's not really Easter eggs. Like, there's references to things, but there's not just like these like random things that pop up. They're like, oh, hey, this was like Emperor Palpatine's droid when he was growing up. Like, you're not going to see like stuff like that. Whereas in this show, that's like all there is, which is one of the reasons I'm really disappointed that we're never going to get Star Wars Detours, because that's that same type of thing that you would get in there. Just like all these stupid what I miss here. So yeah, I thought it was good. I haven't seen an episode of the show that I don't like yet.
I really liked that collector aspect of it. First off, I thought it was hilarious because the collectors were in season 1. At one point, they were trying to kind of destroy the Cerrito, and I think it might have even been that collector. Like, weren't they fighting over an old Starfleet ship, and they started like throwing, using their ship to throw crap at the Cerrito? Because I remember that happening with the collector.
No, that was the Junkers.
Oh, okay. But I loved that we had the collectors come in. We had that aspect of it, just because it harkens back to this week's episode of What If, and like you were saying, like, that collector aspect allows for Easter eggs, because in What If you had the collector and you had like Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer, and like Howard the Duck and all those little things, whereas here you had a lot of things like the giant skeleton in the torn Starfleet uniform. I hope that ties to something, because what even was that?
Yeah, there's so much to go through there. Mark, what about you?
I completely forgot the question, to be honest.
Overall thoughts on the episode?
I liked it. I generally liked the kind of interaction and stuff like that. I liked the fact that there was so many Easter eggs. I think Boimler, I reckon you're going to have the cool Boimler, and I think that's what they're going to go for. So I think that he's going to build up a massive kind of his like career, and then suddenly either the other Boimler, like they could kill the more confident one off later, and then have Boimler have to take that role of the new of it was, and thus therefore leaving this Cerritos again. But in theory, I liked it. I thought it was a generally good episode. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Everyone now needs a sex helmet.
I'm sure you'll be able to buy a replica online at some point.
Honey, today we're going to have the best time. I'm putting on my sex helmet.
A search on Google just turns up a reply from Google saying it looks like there aren't many. There's no good search for Kayla's sex helmet just yet.
Oh, damn it.
I'm sure it's coming though.
Someone will have to make it. Commission the props.
Well, I'll ask Jezzer to make one with his 3D printer.
Oh man.
So I think that kind of wraps up our conversation on the episode. Next week, I think we have a title for next week's episode already. We're not. There's no name yet, at least not on the Memory Alp site. But we know it's coming. And next week before the episode, I'll be back home, so my internet connection will be a lot better, and it'll be a lot easier to find some of this stuff. But I'll have a list of some of the Easter eggs from the collector's room or galleries, the collector's galleries. So we can kind of go through those, see what we missed, and kind of talk about those episodes a little bit. I don't think we really have much coming up as far as new stuff. Saturday, we've got the Ranger shows, as always. Sunday, the wrestling. Rick and Morty is off until September because for some reason they're doing the last two episodes back to back. September 5th, I think.
The internet. Hotel internet is the best.
Is that on today, or is yours the one that's on Sunday?
My one
is so good.
I know,
so good.
Internet is the best. Hotel internet. It's like, is it going to give you good stuff, or is it just going to take everything away? It's a gamble. It's a 50-50. But if you're talking about me and Bren, we're on Wednesdays with Zenkai, with the Super Sentai.
I haven't seen any Super Sentai shows. The closest I've probably seen is the Spider-Man Sentai.
Spider-Man Sentai is the best Sentai out there. But you need to watch Gokaiger. Start with something good, and then every other Sentai will just disappoint you. So it's a win-win.
That's great. Is Neelix in any of them?
No, because unlike Star Trek, Super Sentai is classy.
Wow. And on that note,
make sure to follow us on all social media. Just search the Illuminerdi and you'll be able to find us, the Illuminerdi.com on the web. I just kind of officially sort of soft launched our Discord. So I will post the link to that to join our Discord server on Twitter at some point tomorrow. So that'll be out there in the world so people can flame us about whatever they want. But yeah, other than that, I will see you guys on Saturday with the retro arranged wrap up. I should be back behind the scenes on What If, taking over for Shay, unless he wants to keep doing it on Tuesday at 11:40. The third episode. Do we know what the story for the third episode is?
No.
I know what it is. It's a what if.
It's what if something happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if something happens that changes in the MCU?
That sounds amazing. So
internet again. That's gone.
And everyone froze, so that's perfect.
All right. Thanks for
night,
joining
y'all.
us on the Star Trek Watch Along. See you next week.
Bye.